FlossTube, it's Lisa. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for coming back and spending some time with me today. It is Monday the 9th of October. So I am just thankfully starting a 2-week stretch of holiday following a pretty much horrendous September through October with work. Just a note, the sun is absolutely out in force today and it's shining right through my window right now. So it's cloudy out there, so it's going to dip behind clouds from time to time, so apologies for the changing in light, but obviously I want to get this video done and uploaded because tomorrow I'm planning on going over to the East Coast and spending some time over there for some part of the holiday, so I'm quite looking forward to the break. So obviously the busy September at work has had a massive impact on the amount I've been able to stitch, so apologies. But having said that, looking at what I've managed to achieve, it's not really that bad. I was away 3 weeks out of the 4. It's not for the full week. We go away maybe 2 nights here and there, but they're just exhausting. They're just full on days, and then you literally have an hour's turnaround, and then you're expected to be all bright and breezy and sociable on an evening and networking, and it's just that small talk element on an evening is just draining. So we had that. And then obviously by the time you get home, you unpack, you get sorted, you're just exhausted, and the last thing you want to do is stitch, to be honest. So, you know, for the first couple of weeks since uploading my last video, I barely got 8 hours in, to be honest. It was just terrible. So despite that, I do have a finish and some progress on my active whips, and then obviously there's some other things that I have out in front of me that are either new purchases or things that I've bought and kitted up ready to start that we've maybe spoken about last time that I will show you just now. So I'll show you the whips and then we'll take it from there. So the first one, sorry, I'm just getting my back sheet to lay it out on, is my finished, which is a Prairie schooler, and it's Nevermore. So I'll show you what it looks like when it's finished and where I was last time we met up, and then I'll show you where I am now. So this is the finish. It's not framed, so it's not a fully finished, but it's a finish nonetheless. Sorry, that sun's catching it. I hope you can see it okay. So last time I showed you, I was kind of done this centre motif and I was down in this bottom corner, and then I just thought, right, okay, then this is probably something that I can just pick up and complete. To be honest, by the time I'd done this, it burnt me out a bit. I don't know why it did, it just did. And then for like a couple of nights after completing this, I just couldn't stitch. I was just done. And I kind of get like that when I'm sort of finishing or coming close to the finish of a project. It just kind of, I don't know, I just get like horrible, like, I don't know, you know, this like anxiety feeling that I've spoken about with a backstitch. It's the same thing. And I think it's just because you want to get it finished, and then it just seems to take forever and you're not getting there with it. But that is my first Prairie schooler, and I do have a couple more of these that I would like to stitch, which I'm not going to do right now because I don't fancy doing another. I stitched this on 32 count white chocolate permin linen. I'll not use the I won't use the white chocolate again for any of these because it's really transparent, and I've been really good, that's the back, I've been really good at not carrying threads, particularly with a lot of it being black, but that takes time, so each individual letter has to be formed. I mean, I know it's like, I'm not going to be really particularly lazy, but I just didn't want any show through coming through when it was actually framed. So I am going to look for a frame for this. I'm going to frame this one myself. I'm not sure how yet. It'll be in the true McKenna ghetto style of framing, unfortunately. I don't know how to lace the pieces. I might have a go at it, but I know that there's kind of sticky board and stitches tape out there that I need to investigate from some of your videos. So I do want to get a frame and finish that off myself. So that is my finish. And then I've worked a very small amount on one of my Heaven and Earth designs, and it's the Chris Ortega piece, Steam Heart. So I'll put a picture in of what it would look like when it's finished and where I was last time, and then I'll show you exactly what I've got done. So excuse this, it's on my Quantum frame, and it'll probably be on there for a while, so let me just get that in. Can you see that? So that is her face that I've been working on. It doesn't look like a lot, but there's a fair bit of work gone into that. This was on my stand for about, oh God, 2 weeks, and you know, the progress is not brilliant. I hope you can see that the light's not great. The progress was not brilliant on it. It kind of sat there with me looking at it, doing bits every now and again, but to be honest, I was just too tired to even really bother with it, to be fair. A little bit concerned right now about her eye. It looks very dark, and there doesn't seem to be an awful lot of white in it. I'm trusting the pattern. I mean, I know Michelle from Heaven and Earth designs and produces the most spectacular patterns, so I'm trusting her right now as I continue this, that eye is actually going to pop, because the amount of browns, especially as we're starting to come into some skin tone, is still there. I mean, I know they're not kind of typical where you go to pink skin and white eye and things like that. I guess there's more to it than that, but you know, I'm just obviously a little bit worried that I hope that eye's going to pop as I fill in more of the detail moving forward. So that's that. That's probably going to live on the frame for a while. That will not be coming on holiday with me because I'm not going to transport the frame, so that's going to get left behind. So if there's any progress on that for this month, it's going to be minimal, because obviously for the next 2 weeks I'll not be working on it. So the third project is another Heaven and Earth, and it is Simply Meant to Be by Gerhardt, and I'll put in the picture of what it would look like when it's finished, where I was last time. And then this is where I have got to. So I've pretty much finished this second page here. So this is a story keep version of this design. And a lot of the ones I've chosen more recently are more the minis and story keeps, just because the large ones are like sort of 60 pages in many instances, and you know, the amount of time invested to get a finish is just balmy. So I just love this design, but didn't want to stitch the whole thing. There's an awful lot of background with this that, you know, you kind of wonder, does it take anything away by not having it? I don't think so. So I've just got a small amount of the black to do, just to bring it into line with the bottom of her elbow there, and that'll be a page finish. And then there's another full page and a partial page left, which is kind of, I guess, her legs, a dressy leg thing, and then there's a dog in the corner somewhere down here. So, so yeah, I mean, this is the Heaven and Earth I'm going to work on for now. This will definitely get finished this year. I'd like to get a significant amount of that page, that third page done. Here comes the sun. Hey, there's a song there, isn't there? Like to get as much of that third page done while I'm off for these next couple of weeks. So we'll see. But yeah, I'd like to get that one off, framed and on the wall, to be honest. It's filthy. It's absolutely filthy, especially this top section. I was stitching this over the summer and obviously taking it outside because it's 18 count, and I can see it with just my glasses on and no magnifier. So this was the one that was coming into the garden with me over the summer, and boy, can you see like where I've had my dirty little mitts all over that. So I'm quite keen to get it finished so I can get it washed and then framed and protected and out of the way. So yeah, so I'm pretty pleased with the progress on that one. And now I'm using the Easy PDF app and actually finding the symbols, because there's so much confetti within this. It's making life a lot easier, so I'm not going back and finding stitches that I've missed and then having to rethread the needle and go back and stitch again. So it's just made such a big difference to what I'm doing. So I'm just looking at the stitches that I've got a bit squashed underneath the Q-snap. I'm sure they'll pop back up again when I wash it and everything sort of expands and swells. So yeah, so there was a reasonable amount of progress on that one. And then the last one is my Under the Sea sal, and we've had now the October release, which has just come out. So I've just stitched, well, not almost finished September, which was the little sea turtle on the bottom. I hope you can see this okay. I can see the sun reflecting off it. My little sea turtle. Let me just get the whole thing in for you. So you can see the bottom of the sand now. There's some shells, there's a clam down there. I had to fudge that. I completely stuffed up and miscounted, and the turtle's in the wrong place. And I realised that after I'd stitched his head and half of his body, and I thought, sorry, small. You know what, I'm going to just make it work, and I have. I've kind of adapted and gone on. You know, it's not, I mean, is it that noticeable? I don't think so. Do I care? Not really. So, not on this one anyway. And it's really frustrating, because I think the more simple the projects are, the more likely I am to stuff them up. You know, I can stitch a heaven and earth cross country without gridding and count, and on something like this, which should be in theory technically easier, I managed to make a mess. But you know, he looks okay there. He's got a slightly deformed fin there, which, I mean, could you tell if I hadn't pointed it out? I don't think so. So he just needs a bit of back stitching, my fave, on his body there. And then October's been released, which is my the one that I'd asked for. Not that they've made the pattern because I asked for it, but I wanted a scuba diver, because I had like the human elements in there, the submarine, the mermaid, not that she's human, but still. And then I wanted a scuba diver, so I have him, and he's in the October block. So he's a little scuba diver with a box of treasure, which is really cute. So yeah, I'll have him to stitch this month as well and finish off the turtle. So it's coming along, my stitch along. And yeah, I've just got the vine that runs all the way up the back stitching to take all the way up now that I've finished the bottom part, so that can run up the side. But it's okay. It's one of those things. It's colourful and it's bright, and it'll look really cute in a frame in my craft room. So yes, so there are my whips. So I mean, considering I've had, I suppose, less than 2 weeks of available time to stitch, it's not bad. So obviously over these next couple of weeks I'm hoping to make some significant progress on my Story Keep Heaven and Earth, the Simply Meant to Be. Obviously I want to get up to speed with October, with the Under the Sea sal. As I said, the Steam Heart is not coming away with me, so I'm not really that bothered about that. The rest of it will be with new purchases. Now, I've just realised I've forgotten something and left it downstairs, so I'm going to pop off and get that, and then I'll be back with you in a couple of minutes. Sorry about that, I'm back. I'd left some material, some fabric that I'd ordered downstairs. So, in terms of new stuff, seasonal stuff, would I have ever said before I'm a seasonal stitcher? Never. I just kind of pick up and do what I fancy, really. But, you know, now I've got more involved and there's more really nice designs out there, kind of have a little bit. So I mentioned last time that I'd bought Autumn at Hawker and Hollow. I'd mentioned that one to you and showed you that last time. And I told you I was going to stitch it on the vintage country mocha. Well, I am still going to do that, but I ordered some 40 count Newcastle linen vintage country mocha. Sorry, it's still in the packet, but you know what that looks like anyway. It's a mottled effect. So I want to stitch that 1/2. I think that's what the pattern calls for. So it'll end up basically a 20 count design. I think the other one that I bought and have sort of laid to one side, I think it was 32 count. And obviously I'm stitching this in the call for NPI silks, which have come. The bulk of these were from so-and-so in the UK, then so-and-so didn't have 2 of them, so I ordered them from 123 Stitch in the US. And obviously then, you know, you can't just ship 2 skeins of NPI silk, can you? You know, you have to put other purchases in to make the shipping worthwhile, which is what I've had to do, you know, you should do. Any old excuse, isn't it, for more stash and patterns. So I'm going to stitch this in the call for NPI silk. So I ordered the colours that were needed to complete the topper. So that little thing. So I'm going to stitch it as it's shown here with the topper on and the border. And then obviously some of the other colours translate through into the rest of the design. But it needed that many of the silks that it's just a lot of money, isn't it, to buy them all at once. I mean, I could do it, but do I want to? No, I don't. So I'll just buy as I go, really, and then that way I can increase my stash and kind of not blow the budget, really. So that's all ready and set to go, excitedly enough. So that's going to get started while I'm away. So that's a new whip that's coming. The second new whip that will be coming is, I showed you this last time, is the old Salem Broom Company sign, and obviously it's stitched into Gentle Arts sampler threads. It's got the raven and the nutmeg in that, so 2 of those colours. And I mentioned to you that the lady at the Primitive Hare had actually sort of hand dyed her own special fabric. So she did. So I bought 2 lots, one for that, and then obviously one for the spell store as well. It comes really nicely wrapped. It's ever so cute. So there's the little material of the fabric, and it comes in a nice little sort of wrap thing. Oh, it stinks. And then I took this one out. It makes such a mess. It looks really nice. It looks very, very edgy. I don't know how she's done it. I mean, it smells like coffee and burned, and that's the fabric. And sorry, the sun's going to spoil the effect of that, but how cool is that? I mean, it looks so nice. I mean, if that doesn't look aged, then I don't know what does. So this is Old Salem linen, 30 count, that she specially designed, but she put do not wash. Yeah, obviously you're not going to wash it because it's being hand dyed, but oh, it does smell. It's one of those things that I'm just going to have to get my head around and ignore while I'm stitching it. I don't know how big the design's going to be. It may be that I can get both on one piece. I hadn't gone that far to work out. The other thing it does is it drops bits. So now I'm covered, or the desk in front of me is covered in little bits of like black burnt bits that have fallen off. So I'm going to have to watch that as I stitch. But it's lovely, really nice. The linen itself was fairly pricey for what it is. The shipping from Italy was also a bit on the expensive side. But you know, I just wanted it to look good, because obviously you've got a very simple design, one that I absolutely adore. It just appeals to me so massively that I just really wanted to do it justice, really, and give it everything I could. So that one is going to be another start for this month. There would have been another had the price not been ridiculous. I do have another actually, but I'll talk about that in a minute. So obviously I've kind of got into the carriage house samplings, Hawker and Hollow thing, and it'll not be new to anybody. Sorry, FlossTube itchy nose. Why is that? That we all get itchy noses while we make FlossTube videos? Is it the fabric or the floss? So I don't know, because I don't get it while I'm stitching. It's bizarre, isn't it? But yeah, I was talking about the Hawker and Hollow. They've got a Halloween sampler out right now. Oh my god, I saw it. I just died. It's fantastic. You know, you're like, I want it. So anyway, I had a look on the Patchwork Rabbit site in the UK, because that's where us in the UK tend to get most of our sort of primitive patterns from, or it's a good shop to get that from, and obviously they don't have it yet. So then I looked on 123 Stitch, they don't have it on there, but there's a few shops in the US that are carrying it. So I thought, right, okay then. So I went on one site, put it in my basket, started to fill out my details. They don't ship to the UK. I was like, okay then. Went on to the next site on the feed, put all the details in, put it in my basket, ready to sign out, put the UK for shipping. $36 to ship to the UK. And I'm just sitting there trying to justify shipping of $36 for a pattern that's probably the equivalent price. You know, when you think about what's coming, like something the size of that in an envelope, like $36. Are you kidding me? I mean, it's just extortionate. And I kind of sat there for about 5 minutes trying to justify this pattern in my own head, and I just couldn't do it. And I just closed down the search and came out feeling really, really annoyed. I mean, it's just honestly how people can justify charging that amount of money for shipping on something that's an A4 size piece of paper is just beyond me. So they lost the sale for just pure greed. And when you think about, you know, the likes of 123 Stitch and what they send for their price, yeah, it's expensive, but you would expect to pay that. I mean, I ordered 2 MPI silks and 2 patterns, and the shipping was about $11. Well, yeah, I can get my head around that. You know, it's something I want, and I can get around my head around it. But $36, it's just like, I was blown away. So yeah, suffice to say, I will stitch that next year when it's obviously the frenzy has died down and nobody's interested in it anymore, and then the Patchwork Rabbit, please get it, can then stock it, and then I will buy it from the UK site, because yeah, or 123 Stitch again, you know, and have it shipped for $11, but $36, sorry, I'm still in shock, I can't get over it. So obviously when I was ordering my MPI silks, I then was missing 2. They weren't on the So and So website, it didn't say out of stock, I just didn't know whether or not they were ever going to get them in. So I thought, right, I ordered two of the skeins from 123 Stitch, because I really wanted to start that Hawker and Hollow piece this month. I knew I wanted to do that. And then obviously trying to justify $11 of shipping for 2 skeins of floss is just stupid. So I ordered 2 patterns while I was there. Not that there were patterns I couldn't have got in the UK, but it just made sense because the shipping didn't alter the price. So the first one I got is a Nora Corbett. It is a Bewitching Pixie, and it's Electra. And she's just gorgeous. And again, it's these oranges and black colours that I'm really drawn to, and obviously she's a witch, which is just fabulous. So I loved her. I'm trying to think is Jessie Marie stitching her? I think I've seen it. I know one of the floss tubers is working on it. I'm sure it's Jessie Marie. Could be wrong though. So I got that, and then I kitted it up. So I kitted it up from So and So. So I've gone for the call for fabric, and I've gone for 32 count Permin milk chocolate linen, which is, it's alright, it's the stiff stuff, but you know, it's okay. And I did look at hand dyed fabrics for this piece, but I just couldn't find anything that was dark enough that I liked. I went on to, where did I go? God, I can't remember now the sites I looked at. It's gone out of my head. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I looked at a couple of sites and there was nothing there that sort of grabbed me, that seemed dark enough to make that design pop. A lot of the darker colours were blacks and greens, and not even greens actually, just blacks, and it was just like, there's too much black on there, it's just not going to stand out. So I went for this. Obviously I got the beads. There's 4 different colours of beads in here. Sorry, this is not very organised, they're still all in the plastic, but you know, you get the gist, you know what beads are. So it's just 4 packets of Mill Hill beads. There is the floss to go with hers. This is going to be gorgeous because those reds are fab. And then I got the Krennic for the moon, and it's, what colour is that? It is 052F Grapefruit Glow in the Dark. Now you could have stitched that in normal DMC, or you could have used a Krennic, so I'm going to use a glow in the dark Krennic and make that moon pop. So yay, another start. So that's 3 new starts for October. The Broom Company, the Nora Corbett piece, and the Hawker and Hollow. And obviously, as you know, this one's kitted up anyway, so I got the Gentle Art sampler threads for this one for the spell style. Obviously I have my other piece of fabric depending on the size of the Broom Company piece, so I can, you know, in all essence start that if I want to, but we'll see. You know, it may come across to the static with me, and we'll see how it goes. So all of those gorgeous new stash and new starts, I'm quite excited about that. And then obviously the other smaller head will go into that rotation as well. So it should be good. It should be good. It should be a little bit different, and it's not the same old 4 I've been working on, because obviously one of them's finished now anyway. So the other pattern that I got from the 123 Stitch is the Little House Needleworks Home of a Needleworker 2. You'll all know this one. It's a really quite a popular piece. So I got that. I will stitch it in the Chosen Floss. I can't remember what this one calls for. Bear with me. Bear with. I've got a pile of stuff here. I think what it comes in. Classic Colourworks. There's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different colours, and I will order those for that piece and stitch it. And then while I was on the So-and-So website, I ordered a 19 by 55 chunk of 32 counts Permin linen lamb's wool fabric. So I'm thinking that the Little House Needleworks piece plus a couple of the other what do you call them, Prairie Schoolers, the Halloween Prairie Schoolers that I've got will be stitched up on this as well. So this should do like multiple projects, so that's good. So yeah, I think looking at it, that is my stash project plans for October covered. So yeah, I'm just so glad I've got a couple of weeks off. I'm just so unbelievably tired. So I'm really looking forward to just chilling out by the sea, putting my feet up, doing some stitching, getting some walking in, picking up on my running again, because that has fallen a little bit by the wayside just due to the fatigue and being away. And oh god, it's just horrendous, isn't it, the impact that your jobs have on your quality of life, or lack of quality of life, that comes with working. But you know, I suppose it's the way it is. Updates around Poppy. She's still doing okay. She's still fine. Her last blood results showed, oh my god, the birds have started. Do you know what? I don't hear them anymore. So I'm sorry, because you guys will. Let me close that door. If you're not used to them, you'll hear them, and they can just be screaming in the background as they do, especially when I'm watching TV. I just block them out. I'm just able to block them out now. So sorry if they've been driving you nuts while I've recorded. But I was saying about Poppy, her last blood results came back showing that the medication was starting to affect her kidneys, and I mean, that's a bit of a kick in the teeth, to be honest, because obviously you don't want her kidney output to be going off, because then, you know, she'll become toxic, and it's just horrendous. So what he's done is he's taken out one of the medications and swapped it for something else, just to see if we can level out her renal function again. I'm hoping that will make a difference. She's doing fine. She's still interested in her toys, still wants to do things. Obviously slower than she ever was, but you know, she's the 1st of December, she'll be 11. So I mean, what do you expect? And I suppose that's more marked with the fact that I've got little Daisy, who's almost 9 months, who's just bonkers. Like, she just doesn't stop from the minute she wakes up. Every day is just, yay, let me start the day. So she's just an absolute joy. She's gorgeous. And she's my little stitching buddy, because on an evening when I'm just relaxing, when I've had dinner and finished work and everything else that goes with it, I'll be stitching, and she just tucks along the right side of me and lays really close to my leg and goes to sleep. So, you know, that's great. So I've got her for company, and then Poppy's just generally laying on the floor somewhere in the vicinity. She doesn't like to get up too much, but yeah, so they're doing okay. So I've got my fingers crossed that when we get her blood results done in a couple of weeks, that her kidney function will have come back to something a little bit more normal. So I'm going to now love you and leave you. I'm going to get this uploaded and edited this afternoon. So obviously with me going away tomorrow, I haven't got any more time to do it, so I want to get on and do that. I've got some housework to do, and I've got some packing to do to get ready to load up the car for tomorrow, and then we're away, so it should be good. So I have noticed when I was just checking before I came on, that I've tipped the 1,000 subscriber mark. So I'm going to do a giveaway, and I will do that in my next video for you guys, because I'm not going to have an awful lot of time over the next few weeks with me not being here. So I'll get that moving, just to say thank you for everybody who's joined me. I mean, I can't believe that I've actually got that many people who have subscribed, to be honest. I mean, I know everybody says that, but it's true. I mean, it's I just never really expected it. So thank you all so much for subscribing and for liking and commenting. And I am sorry that I haven't had a chance to reply to anybody who commented last time. It's just the nature of the month has just been hideous. So I am sorry. I will go back and do that and reply to the lovely comments that everybody left. I do really appreciate everything, and I do read them as I come in. And at that point, I really should reply, but you know what it is, it's just life, isn't it? And we all have the same issues. So thank you so much for everything and your support, and you're the reason that I do this and show you the stuff, because obviously somewhere out there somebody's interested in little old me and my cross stitch. So thanks so much. I will, depending on the progress over the next couple of weeks, either come right at the end of October and do an update, or it'll be sort of a month from today. So it'll take us into the first week of November, depending on how much I get done. So without further ado, I shall say goodbye, and I'll see you soon. So I'll catch you soon, guys. Thank you so much for everything. Lots of love. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.